Transition Podcast. David Espinosa in the flesh. Dude, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, it's been years actually, but I'm happy to be on, and I've been following, and I love what you're doing here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's a passion, as you may know. You're in an insurance office, but this is when I decided to do this. It was kind of my way around staying around the game. I have a little boy now who actually plays baseball. I have a daughter who plays tennis. They're in sports, and this is my own selfish way of being around you guys and staying in communication, and using really you guys as an instrument. People that I play with, I know we're tremendous players, tremendous people, and just trying to put out a good message for children, for kids, for parents, because it's a tough road. I think just like anything else, you aspire and you have these dreams, but there's so many mountains that lay ahead of you, dude, and you don't see that sometimes. And like, now that you're older, you're a man, you're a husband, father, I'm sure that you see things from a different lens and perspective. So thank you for coming on. I know I DM'd you quickly and you responded, and we've had mutual, I'm sure, Javi Herrera has been on here.
Yeah, Javi Sanchez and Carlos De La Rosa.
Wood. I got Wood to tear up a little bit here, bro.
Wood is, he's the man.
Well,
all those guys are great.
Yeah, man. Actually, Javi's story is amazing. Obviously, of course, at LSU, played pro ball. Now he's working with Gen Trust, and he's doing amazing. And, dude, I'm just super proud to see all you guys doing amazing things. So it's like, I think people had us in this box. Oh, you're just going to be a ball player and this and that. And there's other aspects and there's other talents that I think that the game prepared you for. So,
yeah.
A little bit. I want our listeners to know a little bit about you. Ask me, where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about David Espinosa.
Well, I grew up in Miami, and I, like a lot of our friends, I played my baseball in Tamiami Park. At that time,
legends. That's where the Caballos played.
Things are a lot different now, but back when when we played in the rec leagues, it was like the best league here.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great league to be in. I actually was just playing for fun, but it actually prepared me for, at that point, you're playing little league, quarter league, pony league, whatever. You're like, you aspire to play high school.
Correct.
And then when you get to high school, you're like, I want to play college. But yeah, so I played in Tamiami, and then my first couple years of high school, I went to Westminster Christian.
My kids go to school there now.
Oh, beautiful.
They're in elementary there.
Yeah.
Great baseball facility, great baseball program.
The school is really nice. They've made a lot of really good changes to it.
Yeah.
I played under Coach Hoffman there, who is a very highly respected high school legendary coach here.
So it's funny. So many people have mentioned him on this podcast. Like the GOAT, dude.
Yeah.
Hoffman was the GOAT.
Yeah, man.
That also was on last week, and Carlos was telling me, he's like, dude, that guy was the man.
Yeah, he to touch on him a little bit, and I've told my wife this. It's like I don't know what it is about him, but he just was extremely organized, and just found a way to get the most out of you. When I went to Westminster, people thought, we had all the best players. Yeah, we did have good players, but we had guys that were just okay, and he just got the very most out of everybody. Everybody bought in. He was very tough and intimidating, really, for a kid, and especially impressive that he was intimidating because Coach Hoffman wouldn't cuss, and you would think, oh, tough, like cussing, all that. Never.
Like disrespectful.
No, we weren't allowed to cuss. Even us. So he got the very most out of us. So that's what I felt like he did, and that's why he's so respected, and then from there, when after my sophomore year, a lot of the players left because he left at Westminster Academy, and I ended up going to Gulliver, and Gulliver was what a great school, man. What a great network of people. I'm still well connected with all my old classmates. We also had a really good high school team. Talk about a talented high school team. Like the team we had at Gulliver was by far way more talented than the teams I was at Westminster.
So when you were at Gulliver, if my memory serves me right, it was you, the twins, Danny and Paco, right? Were there?
Yeah,
Javi
Herrera. There was a pitcher named Travis Neesmith who played pro ball.
Travis Neesmith, that's right.
Great arm. Dennis Gomez, who was
Dennis was there.
Yeah, Dennis was there. Also, he went to Westminster with me, then he went to Columbus, and then he went to Gulliver.
Okay.
Who else was there? And we had a number of guys go to college. I mean, those are the guys that
you had a bunch of college baseball players playing high school.
Yeah, and
which is amazing.
Yeah, and I think between me, Danny, Paco, Javi, I don't know why I feel like I'm missing somebody, but we all got to AAA. So, like, you had a number of guys from one high school team get to AAA. Me and Javi.
And Paco's coaching now in the big leagues, right?
Paco's a big league coach. Danny's doing really well himself. Javi Herrera's doing really, really well.
It's amazing, man.
My senior year with those guys was what a special year, man. We didn't win state, but it was a very exciting season. Those are all my best friends, and we went to California to play in that
Pepsi National Classic.
Yeah, it was called. I think it was just called the National Classic when we were there. And
I graduated in '99, so you were
2000.
2000, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I went in '99, and Pace was there. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. We played at Cal State Fullerton. Mm-hmm. We played Mater Dei.
We played them too. Good.
Very good.
Very good.
Played, and we also played Roncher Bernardo there. I'll never forget that.
Oh, yeah. They had Scott Hurd and
correct.
Matt Harrington.
And Pat Manning was a shortstop. I think that he ended up playing at UCLA or something like that. Mm-hmm. But
if it was 99, Hank Blaylock was on that team. Stud third baseman, lefty, played in the big leagues.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was friends with a couple of their players. I played with Scott Hurd, Matt Harrington, Matt Wheatland.
Okay.
So Scott Hurd and Matt Whelan are both first round picks my year, and we played together on the USA Junior National team.
I know.
So
I remember you having. I remember your senior year, SB. You were having such an amazing year, and you ended up being a first round pick.
Yeah.
Were you 20th overall? Or?
No, I was 23rd.
23rd overall. And then Monty.
Monty was third overall.
Monty was third overall. I mean, it's amazing to see two guys, from Miami playing shortstop, to get drafted in the first round. It just goes to show you, dude, it goes to show you that this town is so special with what it breeds from with baseball.
Yeah.
And it does it every single year. It's consistent.
Yeah.
But so you were a first round pick. Where were you committed to play college baseball?
I was supposed to go to University of Miami.
Okay.
I almost went.
Really?
Yes. So
you almost went.
I almost went. I went to orientation. I had already picked my classes. I was set on going. Real quick. So as a senior year, as I going through my senior year, after the season, I sat down. I had Scott Boras as an advisor at that point, and he had so much data. And, my goal was I want to play in the big leagues. Like, it's great to be a first-round pick, and, yeah, you get good money. But my ultimate goal is to have a career in the big leagues. And, like, when he showed me the information, it's like the best route to get to the big leagues is to go to college.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So right towards the end of the summer, I was actually playing with the Bombers, and people thought I was crazy for playing, but I couldn't just sit at home all summer. I just loved playing.
I get it.
So I went to play. We did well. The Bombers. We won everything. I got a ring. For the Bombers team. But anyway, towards the end of the summer, the Reds. Actually, I'm working for the Reds now, but it's funny. Full circle. They offered me. I think it was $1.75 million to sign, which is a lot of money.
Especially as a 17, 18-year-old kid.
In the year 2000. And then my family didn't have a lot of money. They were very humble people. So that was life-changing money. And when my senior year started...
And by the way,
yeah,
to keep you there,
yeah,
when you're 18 years old and you have $1.8 million in front of you,
yeah,
is it kind of like... are you like a little bit of like the Twilight Zone in some way?
Well, believe it or not, like, it's a lot of money, but I think I was so like convinced, like, I need to go to college, you know. I had a certain figure in my head that would change my mind, and I turned down the money. So I kept going, through the whole process of orientation, picking classes. I met with, my advisor or whatever. And literally the first day of school, the Reds called Scott. It must have been 7 a.m. or something in Miami, and he's in California. So it was with
4 a.m.
like $1 million more, major league contract, $100,000 for school on top of that. And it was at that point, it was hard to turn down.
Correct.
Because at that point I would have been probably the top 3 paid player in that draft, if I remember correctly. And that's where I was supposed to go, somewhere in the top 5 picks. That year there were a lot of pre-draft deals. Everything got kind of screwed up. The best college bat went in the second round, which was like kind of crazy. Xavier Nady, who played a few years in the big leagues. But, that really was I
remember that name.
Yeah, it was hard to turn it down. But, I was really looking forward to wearing the orange and green, and
of course, man. And, we all grew up. I ended up playing at FIU. I went to a junior college in Kansas called Dodge City Community College, and that's really where, I was always a really good athlete. I played a lot of football in high school, but I think that's when I focused on baseball, and then I wanted to play at Miami, and there's a pride about being a Hurricane in this town, and obviously I'm a FIU alumni, and I think they're at some point I think they're going to cross that barrier. Yeah. I'm hoping to God they do, man.
Well, the years you were there, FIU was really good.
We were stacked, man. We 1 year,
so many good players.
We had 8 guys drafted.
Yeah.
8 guys drafted. We were 17th in the country.
You played USC.
Miami. Yeah.
You played USC in a regional or a super regional or something? Was it USC?
Louis Gazatua pitched against Mark Pryor.
That's right.
And if they win that game, they're the first team to go to Omaha.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's funny you mentioned money. Last night, Raul Ibanez and I had about a 2-hour conversation.
Oh, what a great guy.
Yeah. Raul and I are really good friends. Our kids play together and whatnot. And we were talking about money, and specifically about the money that the sports and entertainment world plays. And SP, if I can tell you one thing, man, if athletes knew how blessed they were with the money that they make, like we've again, we're here. We've built this company. It's taken 12 years to build this company to like really. I mean, and we've grown a lot. Okay,
yeah, of course.
But it's taken years and years and years. The same amount of work that you put in to get, to develop your talent and to get to where you were in baseball. But for you to make, what these guys make nowadays, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, to make that consistent income every single year. It's so hard to do that in the business world, man. And if guys, I look at it as if owners are nuts. I mean, with all due respect.
Yeah.
When I look at it, from a business perspective, I'm like, dude, if an owner can go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to pay this guy $5 million a year to play baseball, he's absolutely crazy in my eyes.
Yeah.
He's not. That's what the market asks for. But it goes to show you how successful they've been. Because, dude, that's a lot of money. My point, SB, is like, if you're a big leaguer and you're making that type of money, do not take that for granted. Because I can tell you, man, you can go down the line, with Fortune 500 CEOs, and it's tough, man, to make that money every single year. There's nothing in the world that pays like Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, Hollywood, and all that. So anyhow, it's great. It's something not to be taken for granted. I think sometimes guys don't realize it, and it's normal because that's all they know. And then they come into the real world, they're like, man, how hard is it to get a job nowadays and make $100,000 salary?
Oh, I know. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You know, obviously the $100,000 is a good salary. You know,
no doubt about it.
It's like a lot of money.
$8,332 a month.
You know,
not everybody gets to make that.
I know.
They got to work.
Of course, I think. You know, yeah, I think.
You know what? You know what I'm trying to get to. You know, like it's crazy.
Sometimes as a player, when you're making a lot of money, and I just read a book about this. The book's called Intangibles, but one of the sections was about perspective.
Okay.
And that chapter in particular really impacted me because, you know, sometimes you see players in any sport really nitpicking about the money, but it's like, man, sometimes you got to take a step back and realize like you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars here, you know. So you be grateful for that, you know. I wish I was in a position to still be playing and making millions of dollars, you know.
Of course.
I love what I'm doing and I make a good salary, but it's like minuscule to what these players are making nowadays. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Know? But I think.
But it's funny. So like, you're at Gulliver. Mm-hmm. You literally said, you know, you had a number in your head.
Yeah.
And the 1.7 was not what you had.
Yeah.
And you thought, well, with the data that Scott Burrows gave you, mm-hmm. maybe you should go to college. So what data did Scott show you that kind of like, dude, it shifted your perspective to like, you know what, let me go become a Hurricane? Well,
a few things, a few examples of players that turned down a lot of money. At that point, it was, you know, the examples they gave me were Mark Pryor turned down. He was a first-round pick.
Out of high school?
Yes. He was like a lower, like 30th. I think they offered him like $1 million. I forgot what team picked him. But then in 2001, he got 8. You know,
out of Stanford, right?
Out of USC.
Out of
USC. Yeah. And then another example was Mark Teixeira. Mark Teixeira was supposed to be a pretty high pick out of high school. I don't know. I forgot where he went. I think he went lower, but they still offered him money to sign, like 7 figures, you know, like $1 million or whatever. And he turned it down to go to Georgia Tech. And then I think he signed for 9 3 years later. So it's like you're literally getting 9 times the money 3 years later. You're more mature, you know, obviously as a person, which is really important when you're playing pro ball. Physically, you're playing good competition. Because to go from high school to pro ball, it's an enormous jump. I mean, it's huge.
How much faster did the game get for you?
Oh, it was. I ended up adjusting, but I mean, you're facing guys doing 93, 95 all the time. I remember when I went to instructional league because I signed late, so I didn't play rookie ball.
Okay.
I went to instructional league and
in the fall.
Yeah, like in September, late September or something, and I was facing guys throwing 93, 95 all the time. And
which back then is like, I know everybody throws 100 nowadays for whatever, but 95.
But now, and
you're what, 18 years old?
18 years old, and things are different now than when we were playing because kids nowadays are swinging a wood bat when they're 14. I wasn't swinging a wood bat when I was 14. I barely swung a wood bat even my senior year, you know?
My son is 7 and he hits off wood, off a tee.
I know. Our kids are going to be way better off than we were, man. You know, more prepared.
But you're right. Like, it's funny. I remember being like I'll never forget. I think it was my senior year at Coral Park. I'm taking batting practice, and I think I hit one ball over the fence, and I was like, oh my God, like, hell yeah, you know, dude, with a wooden bat. I was so excited in BP, and you're seeing these kids nowadays, that freshmen, 8th graders, grabbing wood and hitting a ball 400 feet. Kids are bigger, faster, and stronger, dude.
You should see the kids I see.
I can only imagine what you see at an international level.
I'm watching 13, 14-year-olds, and we were, you know, our group, we were discussing this one player, and like he was going oppo over the fence, and he's 14. You know, it's just incredible. The players you see internationally, like it's not everybody. I'm just talking about the very special ones.
Yeah, of course, the 1%.
It blows your mind how good they are.
And what is it, SP? Is it all they do?
Yeah, you know,
they sacrifice education for baseball.
They do. They don't go to school anymore. They're practicing 6-7 hours a day. That's all they do. And, you know,
so think about it, thousands of baseballs of reps, right?
Oh, my God.
Like Kobe said, right? If you get this only 10,000 times.
A lot of these kids have really good swings already, mechanically. Some don't, but the really good ones, like they're pretty fundamental. The actions in the infield are incredible. You
really?
know, yeah. It's been, the pandemic has kind of, I've been just at home, but before the pandemic, there were just a lot of things I saw that really were impressive that I would have never thought to see in a 13 or 14-year-old. But I'll tell you this, I still think the kids here are better off. They're getting an education and they are still playing quality baseball. So they're getting the best of both worlds. Are they practicing 8 hours a day? No, but they're getting both, you know. And
I agree, and you know what? I speak from, like, again, we've had this conversation numerous times at Blueprint with where our kids play, and you know, a bunch of guys that you know are there. Just happened to be by osmo. It was like organic how we all ended up together.
Yeah.
But, Carl Salaosa and Raul and I, we're having this conversation where it's like there's also this misconception, I think, primarily in Tri-County and in South Florida, where you've got to play baseball year long. And I think I did a little bit of research last year in the draft, and I saw that a lot of guys in the Northeast were getting drafted high, you know, top 3 rounds, first rounders. And one of the common things that I saw was like, dude, they play a lot of sports. They play basketball, they play football. These kids have a balance, and I think that those sports, like a basketball agility workout, can help you become a better shortstop or center fielder or whatever it is you play. Football, like every sport has its, like, you know, soccer, and I think sometimes I'm a firm believer personally. You know, I played football, baseball, and basketball my whole life. I think there's something good about doing that.
Yes.
I actually have a really good friend of mine. They're like family to me. Okay. Actually, his dad is my little brother's godfather, and he's now the shortstop at Westminster. And this kid is special. Okay, with a bat in his hands, he's special. What he does is at 15 years old, 16, it's insane. But he also plays basketball, and he's committed to Vanderbilt. And
good place to be committed to.
Yeah, he's committed to Vanderbilt. He's being advised by the same gentleman that advised you. And you know, I think he had his concerns. Do I play basketball? Do I not play basketball? Because of, you know, injuries and stuff like that you're kind of like gambling. But he's a kid. And he loves the game.
Of course.
And he wants to drop buckets. But then he goes there at night and he's at a high school game here and he, you know, takes one off, you know.
Yeah.
And at some point, I think he'll have to make that, like, you know, maybe your senior year, like, dude, you know, senior year, maybe it's not worth it. But I will say, watching this kid play, one of the things that I think is, you know, is helping him play shortstop at the high school level is the fact that he's out there, you know, playing basketball, playing defense, moving around, going for a rebound. And then, you know, eventually baseball will take him wherever baseball needs to take him. But I just think it's important that kids are introduced to other sports, man, and have a balance. And you can train baseball year long. Like, because baseball's a weird sport. You gotta take ground balls. It's a lot of feel, you know, hand-eye coordination, timing, all that. But yeah, man, it's I not to drift off, but
I love this topic. I'm happy you brought it up.
How do you feel about that? I mean,
I am okay. I played basketball.
I mean, you're a first round pick, dude.
Yeah.
You play at the highest levels.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Kids cannot. For instance, my kid, I'm not gonna. Oh, you got to play baseball the whole time. No, like, honestly, I want you to play sports. And you're right, like basketball, all these sports, you develop these skills that can transfer to baseball.
Of course.
You know, and you develop athleticism.
Footwork.
I mean, it's just, like I said, you nailed it with the basketball. I played basketball in Tamiami I think it was like the fall or whatever, and I didn't play baseball. It was just a break, like break from throwing, and I would still go to the cages to hit.
Do your thing.
But I played basketball, and I wasn't that great of a shooter, but I was a very good rebounder, and I was, if I was playing defense against you, you're gonna have. I was very physical on you the whole time. And
your footwork to stay there.
Yeah, and I was fast. I was always very fast. Yeah,
that was your
but
gift.
I would run people down like they thought they had an easy layup, and here I come and like out of nowhere. I remember one year I was MVP of my team, and I was not like a basketball player. I was just an athlete playing, but I got a lot out of it. I mean, obviously stayed in tremendous shape. I mean, the practices, I had some good coaches, got a lot out of it. But I think definitely if you aspire to play like just past high school, I mean, it's attractive when you play other sports. And A-Rod played football and basketball. And I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady was drafted. He played baseball.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he was a catcher. Yeah.
Tom Brady was a catcher?
Yeah, he got drafted like in the 8th round or somewhere between the 8th and 15th round. I mean, I did pro scouting, which is you scout, anywhere from rookie ball to the big leagues. And in our meetings and just over the years of being around veteran scouts, first off, the first thing I look at a player, at any level, is how athletic is this kid? Because the theory in projecting players is that athletes, guys that are really athletic, they have the aptitude and whatnot, they can take the information in, and they got to put the work in, and those guys really do project they can be stars. We don't always hit on them, But for instance, and I really believe this, obviously Michael Jordan might be one of the greatest athletes ever. And
he's the GOAT.
From what I've heard from people, obviously he was pretty bad at first, but he was such a good athlete, and the improvements he made were significant. I think if he would have grinded it out, maybe another couple of years in the minor leagues, he could have played in the big leagues.
Well, I mean, I think about it this way. I mean, being in spring training, and being in single A and whatnot, and playing some spring training AA games and even AAA games, dude. I'll be honest with you. I saw guys that were better in AA than some big leaguers.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons, there's just maybe their mindset's not there, or the business aspect of it. But once you get to AA, dude, like, it's game on, man, for the most part. There's a lot of dudes that can play.
Yeah, you see.
And he played AA.
Yeah.
And he played in the big leagues. And the guy hadn't picked up a baseball, in a decade or something? I mean, it's not normal.
No, but again, he's an incredible athlete. So when we're looking at players, we want athletes. And the best way to develop athleticism is you got to play sports. You just can't play one sport, I felt like basketball really helped me. Because I was already fast, but I felt like, I don't know, I made a jump.
I just think that the hand-eye coordination, the dribbling the ball, the anticipation, the speed of the game. My brother played basketball, and I always thought he could have played baseball too. For years, I told him, dude, you're 6'8", just stand on the mound and throw the shit on the ball. And he could throw the ball. Yeah. But I see it. My son's doing biography research on Mookie Betts. I have no idea. Sean knew who Mookie Betts was. Mookie Betts was a point guard.
Tremendous athlete.
That guy was a point guard. So we're watching highlights of Mookie Betts the other days. He's got to be, 5'9"?
Yeah.
Lean, strong. He's making a catch in Dodger Stadium. He looks like Spider-Man, dude. Like, you can't teach that. And then you don't think he's not like this, he doesn't look like, what's his guy's name? Guerrero's son.
Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Correct. Who's built like the Hulk. You got Mookie Betts hitting a ball 450 feet because he's got bat speed. He takes the ball the other way, and that guy makes a single or double, and he's just a ball player.
He's super exciting.
He's a good. That guy makes baseball fun.
I know. Baseball needs, easier said than done, obviously, but obviously you heard about Theo Epstein, how he left the Cubs, or maybe you haven't, but I'll never forget what he said after he left the Cubs, especially, and it was before he took the job with MLB. He really brought analytics into baseball. And I think there's a lot of value in analytics. But I think teams have bought in so much in analytics that it has hurt the aesthetics of baseball.
Amen.
We talked about
that. Right? We talked about that last night.
Through the years when I did pro scouting, I sat in major league stadiums, AAA, wherever. I was always around like veteran scouts, and they would always say like, baseball is not good right now. They're lacking athletes, guys that are exciting. They're just so worried about analytics and all this stuff, and I think
the shift has made the game so boring.
It's strikeouts,
power on power. I mean, launch angle.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I still think you guys played and you guys hit the ball very far, and it was just bat speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that things progress and things evolve, and we learn a little bit more. I still think that you still have a bat, you have a wrong ball. And we got to simplify it, and it comes down to being athletic and whatnot.
You want athletes; those are the ones you want to develop. And unfortunately, another part of it is that African Americans aren't playing. And that's another I guess market of players that we want to play baseball because they're so athletic. We want athletes on the field.
Why aren't more black kids playing baseball? Is it a resource issue, or is it because they're just being pulled in culturally into like sports they've played historically, which is, basketball and football. And that's just what they do. And not realizing, dude, like we have a gift as a culture. They're big, they're strong, they're smart. They can take that into the baseball field.
Yeah.
A little bit of a much less, grind on their body, on their head. Why has Major League Baseball done some research on that, or try to make a difference here?
They are trying. From what I've read, they're trying to build these academies in major cities. They've only done it like in 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
There've been talks about one here in Miami.
Well, this is a no-brainer, dude.
I know. It's still kind of like in.
You imagine a running back putting him at second base and be like, dude, this is going to be this ball. It's going to go on the ground. You just got to catch it, toss it. No, I'm serious. They're amazing God-given gifts and the game needs that.
A lot of the greatest players
were black.
Black. I mean, all the guys we looked up to: Ken Griffey, Barry Larkin,
Barry Bonds,
Deion Sanders. I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, but Deion, that's a good example. He's an incredible athlete. I'll never forget this. My first spring training. This is a side story. First spring training of the Reds. Deion was actually my throwing partner.
No way, dude.
Awesome guy. Very quiet, believe it or not. I couldn't believe how quiet he was. You see him on TV, Deion, and I was like, this guy's so quiet. But I just think he wasn't as confident because he even told me, he's like, baseball is just so much harder than football, at least for him. Football, he literally told me, I can fall out of bed and cover dudes. But baseball, it takes just, for him personally, it was just a lot more work.
He's coaching now.
He's coaching football?
Out of college in Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's I follow him on Instagram. He's doing an amazing job. He's just trying to take this school. I believe it's an all-black school. And he's really trying to take that to a whole nother level. He's maximizing, social media. He did the coolest thing today, and I thought it was like amazing recruiting, marketing. So he grabbed all his coaches and he put them like in this room, in the locker room. And he's like, hey, coach, offensive line, what do you need? And the guy goes, well, I need a 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackle. And he's literally like putting it out there, like, what, DM us if you feel like you're that guy. And he's just bringing an energy that exudes such positivity and like, you know what I'm saying? Like a winning atmosphere, man. Yeah. This is a guy who played at Florida State when Florida State was at its prime.
Oh, yeah.
Played for obviously Dion Primetime, man.
I know.
But
what a nice guy. But like I said, I'm happy he's doing that. It's great.
Yeah.
That's kind of random because he's from Fort Myers, so I don't.
He's coaching college in
Mississippi, of all places. Wow.